everybody, to Blissfully Aware, the show in which me and my friends discuss what's going on in fandom and nerd news in general. I'm Bliss, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-hosts, JD. Hi, JD!
Hello, everyone!
How are you doing this week?
Good. Doing pretty well.
For anybody at home, a little behind the curtain, this is our second attempt at recording this episode.
The good news is I will try to conjure the exact same amount of vehemence that I had in the first set.
I don't think it's going to be hard. So yeah, this week we're going to be discussing two kind of off-the-wall topics. Little not safe for work one and a little older one. So let's get right into it. JD, what's this current topic that we're going to talk about?
Oh, this one's a terrible one. This one's really close to my heart. This one is the one fear. A 23-year-old in the UK has been convicted of the possession of indecent images of Bart Simpson. So this was Simpsons pornography. And in the UK, as many of us know, they do not have the same speech laws that the United States has. So they convicted him on the possession of cartoon porn.
Yay!
And yes, everyone has reacted to it thinking that is absolutely ridiculous.
Even people in the UK. It's not just the American internet thinking it's funny.
Yeah. People in the UK have thought this is ridiculous. People in Australia are sharing this because in 2008 there was a similar case in Australia where someone was convicted of the possession of indecent images, and it was Simpsons porn. So, that's kind of ridiculous. Imagine just being the prosecutor here. Like, really, what am I doing here?
First off, I want to know that old comic artist that drew the meme that has been memed a million times to the point where nobody knows what the original is. It's the One Fear meme.
Yes.
The original is No Fear, and the next panel is what if they make Simpsons porn illegal, and then the last panel is One Fear. I want to know how he became psychic.
Right, yeah, like, this is the one fear. This is the bad thing. Like, we're in the bad place. Like, this is the bad place. Oh man, just as The Simpsons has guessed the future however many times and had things come true that were in The Simpsons, we now have the comic about Simpsons porn coming true about Simpsons porn. This is very meta.
It really is.
Yeah. And like this is serious business. The conviction, the individual who I will not name because he does not need that following him around on our podcast forever. It is on the internet. You can find out who he is. I feel super bad for him. Please, no one go find him. He's under enough stress.
I can't even imagine.
And you know what? My heart goes out to him. My dude, I'm with you. He initially faced 3 years behind bars and a spot on the sex offender registry.
Damn.
Yeah, and we have opinions on not only prisons but also the sex offender registry. It like literally there was no child. There was no child involved here. Bart Simpson is not real. Bart Simpson is older than me.
He really is, isn't he?
Yeah.
At this point.
Bart Simpson is older than I am. But ultimately, fortunately, he was given a 12-month community order consisting of 20 days of rehabilitative work, which I don't know how you rehabilitate from Simpsons pornography, like what is the work that goes into that? I would really like to know, like, how, what do you do? Is that like, oh, we're gonna cure you of your cartoon pornography possession by making you pick up trash on the highway?
Go to mandatory therapy.
But like, therapy for what?
Yeah. I I don't know, man. I don't
That's just a
know.
tough one, because if I'm talking to my therapist, I've been in therapy for however long, like a year and a half. And I got to be honest, if I told my therapist, hey, I have been court mandated to talk to you about Simpsons pornography, she would be like, is it bothering you? No, it was an image on my phone that I beat my meat to one time. She'd probably be like, okay, if it's not bothering you, it's not bothering anyone else. That's literally what my therapist would say.
Yeah, I don't think my therapist would be that bothered.
Yeah.
And to be clear, this dude told the cops that his Bart Simpson pornographic images were for sexual gratification, yes?
He did. He talked to the police, which is a huge no-no. Never talk to the police.
Children not listening to this podcast, don't talk to the cops. Always get
Yeah.
a lawyer.
They ask for your phone, you say no. If you're going to have something illegal on your phone, which granted this guy did not know that these images were illegal in his country, because why would they be? This is not common sense. Just don't put facial recognition on your phone. Don't put fingerprint ID on your phone. The cops can't force you to give your your PIN code, but they can take your fingerprints. This is literally what police do.
Mm-hmm.
So they can also literally just show your phone your face and it'll open,
Right.
So like, that's not gonna help you. But don't give the police things. Don't talk to the police. Say, am I being detained? If the answer is no, may I leave? If they say no to that, then you say, am I being detained again? And then, you politely ask for a lawyer. You don't have to be polite. Like, that's not necessary, but I prefer to keep all of my front teeth and not see them on the sidewalk pavement. So I would like to speak to an attorney is possibly the best way to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Not like, give me my effing lawyer, you dirty pigs. But yeah. So that said, I hate that we have to acknowledge that, there are countries in which antis would thrive.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many people out there who, when they think of legalities and stuff like that, they're thinking of like the United States. And there's a lot of web hosting that is located in the United States that is only beholden to the laws of the United States. Wherever your server is hosted, that is the laws, for your internet censorship, for your
Mm-hmm.
any kind of censorship. So, for example, AO3 is hosted inside the United States. It is beholden only to United States law, which is the world's most open and free speech country on earth.
For now.
For now. Well, even if Florida goes all Florida,
Mm-hmm.
and like even some like speech laws wouldn't make it the worst. It would probably still be the best even with some. However, I don't want any. So I'm pretty hardcore. I'm pretty hardcore about that. So
But yeah. So most people think of the internet as American. And I mean, I'm not going to say they're wrong, because yes, a lot of servers are hosted in America, like you said. But that doesn't mean that the world is American. So you can still have Bart Simpson's porn on your phone in the UK or Australia or a country with stricter degeneracy laws and be held accountable for that. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
We take for granted our degeneracy laws here in the United States because they're mostly a joke.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. And that ties right into our next subject.
Ah, yes. So, some of you may remember a good old little webcomic. The meme where someone is pinching someone else's mouth and just saying, shh, let people enjoy things. Well, that was drawn by a, let's say, diet famous comic
Absolutely
creator.
brutal. That's my favorite. I don't know who came up with it, but that's my favorite thing someone said about him. Diet famous. Spicy.
His name is Adam Ellis. And boy, did he surprise the internet a while back. Not even that long ago. April.
It was April. It was like early to mid-April.
April 10th. I have his tweets pulled up. I have screenshots because he blocked me. Add another one to the list. I keep a running track of semi-famous people who have blocked me.
You know, I have a couple semi-famous people. I only have one famous person.
Yeah, and your famous person is famous.
Yeah, like famous. You know what? It's the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm actually gonna get a T-shirt commemorating it. But for anybody who doesn't know, I am blocked. I was personally blocked by J.K. Rowling.
I mean, I would give you an award, but that in itself is an award.
Yeah, like I'm gonna go across the street to the place that makes T-shirts, and I'm gonna get a T-shirt of it. I'm so excited.
So our dear friend Adam tweeted about his "Let People Enjoy Things" comic and claimed that he killed it because pedophiles were using it. And when pressed, he quote retweeted himself and said, quote, "I should point out I killed it because actual pedophiles were using it, not just people who were using it to defend lolicon. That said, lolicons are just diet pedophiles. Explain to me how being attracted to an anime child isn't disgusting. Actually, don't, because I don't want to interact with you degenerates."
Like, I can't explain to you, Adam, how being attracted to an anime child isn't disgusting because I am not a lolicon. And I don't personally understand loli. I've seen some very heart-wrenching artwork that has been made by lolicons and, you know, people who work with that theme. Mm-hmm. Like, some people might find it titillating. I find it to be like reading a horror novel, you know, and I feel like that's one of the great joys of art is that you enjoy it in different ways. But yeah, Adam, let's talk about your diet famous take here. Actual pedophiles were using it, but lolicons are diet pedophiles, and you think you're not a degenerate. However, you would be convicted under the United Kingdom's laws for things that you have made.
Absolutely.
And hypocrisy aside, Adam has said some vile things and has implied some vile things in following tweets after he was confronted. I'll let you fill in the details on that.
Yeah, so former co-host Kelty responded to Adam and said, "Do you know how many times victims of CSA find catharsis in loli shota art? Please don't say shit like this. It's so dismissive and hurtful to survivors of abuse." To which Adam responded with a gif of Gina from Brooklyn Nine-Nine rolling her eyes. And, I mean, that's sort of one of the benign ones.
Yeah. That one, and when someone else was trying to back him up in this and suggested that CSA survivors become predators, and the quote unquote cycle of abuse implying that makes it inevitable that survivors, that victims of child rape will become child rapists. So, and Adam goes, ding, ding, ding. That was his response to that. He 100% believes that if you were a victim of this heinous crime, you are unsalvageable. That was what everyone took from that.
Oh, yeah. It was disgusting to see.
I mean, and he's calling lolicons degenerate. And he's saying stuff like that. That's vile. That's evil. It was utterly shocking at the time. I mean, this is literally some guy who, you really enjoy his stuff. You can create a parasocial relationship with this guy. He said stuff on his Twitter that was really poignant. One of his own tweets was, the religious right aggressively labels queer people as predators, and then it gets echoed online by trolls, and it's all very deliberate. Don't be surprised when right-wing lawmakers try to criminalize queer people just for existing under the guise of protecting kids. What happened to that, Adam? What happened to that tweet? And now you're out here doing that very thing, calling people degenerates, using eugenicist language on Twitter for what? So that people will like you? So that people will think you're different? You're one of the good queers? You drew Sonic fucking Pikachu.
And then giving birth to Sonic Chew.
Sonic Chew. As a little jab to Chris Chan, but
Yeah, so that's classy too.
Right, yeah, but oh man, I could say so much.
Yeah, and then when that comic gained some traction, you went through the effort to animate it.
Mm-hmm.
You made a sequel to it where Sonic was fucking an ambulance and gave birth to a half ambulance, half Sonic creature. Like, I don't have a problem with your art, Adam. I don't. I have a problem with your behavior.
Yeah, and I mean, he might have been harried. He might have felt backed against a wall. Like, God, I've said some pretty crazy shit about Lolicon when I was backed into a corner.
Mm-hmm.
I still remember it. I totally know. You're like, hey, you might say something you're not putting your whole ass behind. You know what I mean? But what you did say had an impact. And the impact was a very resounding, I don't care about children who have been abused. I don't care about children who are no longer pure, because they are going to become violators. They are going to in turn violate other children. They're going to grow up, they're ticking time bombs, they're going to grow up into molesters, they're going to grow up into rapists, they're going to grow up into bad people. So anyone who like don't trust anyone who claims to have been abused or whatever, because they're just going to turn out to be just as bad. And that is a horrifying message. Is that really the message we want to send to kids who are struggling with the fact that they were abused? Like, I don't really think so. Like, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that Adam doesn't want that. That Adam didn't mean that was not the impact that Adam wanted to have. Because at the heart of me, I want to believe that everyone has the best of intentions. So like there's no way that someone actually believes that, especially not, a guy who is very clearly queer, has made progressive statements in the past. I really don't want to believe that. But that was the impact that we had. And when you truly believe that you're not the degenerate, but you're out here drawing porn that would get you arrested in another country, what, you don't have a leg to stand on here. Like, my own stuff, let's say I put my comic in my baggage and I fly to Germany. they'd probably put me back on the plane and fly me home. If they checked my baggage, I would be put on the next flight back to the United States because I would be in possession of obscenity. Even driving into Canada, that would be the importation of obscenity. They would have to confiscate that. Now, granted, in Canada, there's no other recourse for them other than to confiscate it. They'd probably let me go get my Chinese food, you know. They're just gonna take the obscene comic out of the back seat, and they're gonna let me go on my way, and they're gonna have a nice wank in the bathroom. But you know, being a person who has created something that is not allowed in other countries, I can't tell the 23-year-old who had and also it was 49 images of Simpsons porn. It wasn't just one.
Oh.
I can't tell this man. Maybe he does need therapy. Anyway, I can't tell this man that he's a degenerate because he has Bart Simpson porn on his phone. I can't tell him that. I have pornography that would make his country put me in handcuffs.
For sure. I mean, nobody should look at my phone.
Right. Handle my hard drive with tongs. But yeah, I mean, Adam, do you really think you're not a degenerate? Do you really think the leopards aren't going to eat your face? Sonic is canonically 15 years old. Now, granted, Sonic is also a hedgehog, an anthropomorphic hedgehog. Pikachu doesn't speak English, does not pass the Harkness test. Not that I put any stock in the Harkness test because tentacles are great. Like, there's so many things that are wrong here. Like the idea that he drew a furry of himself, a not safe for work furry of himself, and furry art in itself, I don't understand because I do not understand why it is not zoophilia. I don't get it at all. They're dogs. They have animal genitalia. But you're really gonna sit there and you're gonna make the implication that anybody who creates icky art is a degenerate, art that you personally don't like, and that real life children who have been harmed are inevitably going to harm. That's vile. That's evil. That is possibly one of the worst things that I have ever seen someone say online. And you're diet famous. There are people with parasocial relationships to you. Do you know how devastating that is for them? They thought that they were okay, and then their favorite rando diet famous guy on the internet said, I think you're disgusting and you're going to abuse children.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was hard for me to see personally. And I mean, benefit of the doubt, he was just tweeting through it and he didn't mean some of what he said. But that is me giving him a lot of grace.
Yeah.
Because he certainly, in my opinion, seemed pretty in control of himself. I didn't see him losing his temper in a lot of points. Then again, I'm not Adam. I'm not in his brain. I don't know, what was going on his end of the phone. So, like I said, benefit of the doubt, he was tweeting through it. And we all know the one thing you should never do is tweet through it. Put your phone down, take a step back, take a breath.
Yeah, sometimes flouncing is the best thing you can do for not just yourself, but also everyone else around you. Like, yeah, maybe some people are going to be like, oh, they're avoiding accountability. It's like, no. Accountability looks different for everyone. So they don't get to tell you what accountability looks like to you. And sometimes when you're flouncing, that's you taking your cues. That's you talking to whoever you need to talk to and figuring out how you can move forward. Because accountability doesn't have to be visible to literally everybody. And maybe Adam has come to terms with this. Maybe this has been a growth opportunity. I really, really, really hope so. I wouldn't know. I stopped following him because I'm sorry, I'm not ready to allow that moving forward to touch my heart, like, and nobody has to. I mean, you can't ask
No,
that of anyone.
that's your own
Um,
personal journey.
it is, and I'm really hoping that that this was an impetus for him to springboard off of, and really think about the impact of words, and how he relates to audience members who might have experienced horrible, 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 horrible things, and how they might feel about the experiences that they've had and their value um, in society, and their life's value to them. I mean, who is he to tell child sexual assault victims what's going to happen? Like what their future holds. Who is he to tell them that?
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully he's realized that, because it was honestly disturbing to see that implication in his tweets, and to see that kind of fall out of his fingers. I guess it's not his mouth, but it it's interesting, because it's like, okay, you know what, you're gonna call lolicons diet pedophiles, you're gonna do all this stuff, you're gonna create these delineations between yourself and these other artists that don't actually exist in real life. And you're going to call other people, other creators, degenerates. You're not going to ever think for 1 second that somebody else is going to think you're a degenerate. Well, we're all going to get thrown on the pyre. Where would you like to be, the top or the bottom? Because we're all burning.
Absolutely. And I don't see how he doesn't get that. Because when it was pointed out to him that he's drawn degenerate art, his response was, but it was funny.
Great. Doesn't matter. If 49 pictures of Bart Simpson being pegged by Marge Simpson, which I have no idea what was in the images. So, like, personally, that's just a
guess.
Yeah, that's just a guess. If 49 images of Bart Simpson pornography were funny, it wouldn't have made a difference in the conviction. Like, yeah, he did say, yeah, I used these to wank. But if he didn't, if he just said, I thought they were funny, it doesn't make a difference. The crime was committed regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if the intent was, I thought they were funny and I was going to share them with my friends, there might have been even more for him. He could have been doing 40 hours of community service and therapy or whatever. Like, because then that's intent to distribute. So it doesn't matter what they're used for. Like, how do you know who's a lolicon? What if somebody's making loli art because it's a horror comic? Like, for example, user Aggie, but I love the strawberry milk. Her comic Puppy Milk is not a sexy comic. Like, it is sexy, but it's sexy in a totally different way. It's not a sexy comic. It's a horror comic. And it's very clearly a horror comic. And yet she was canceled. She was a target on Kiwi Farms because people misinterpreted that work to be like cartoon child pornography, because there's sexual elements in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not fair, because that's not the point of the comic. But it doesn't matter. They're still throwing you on the pyre, Adam. You're with us. It's not going to matter if it was funny.
Absolutely. When does it get funny, Adam? I'd love to know.
I would love to laugh, because it's not funny. Twitter user Blow Me a Kiss replied, Adam, you do know people refer to queer folks as degenerates, and using that language to throw other artists under the bus simply because their work makes you uncomfy is contributing to the same conservatism that oppresses us, right? And that is a completely just succinct way of stating it. Gay men were famously branded as pedophiles by activists such as Anita Bryant and politicians like Charlie Johns. I mean, we've gone through this.
We're going through it again.
Like, why are you making it easier?
It's not like we aren't still being labeled degenerates or pedophiles even, but no. Go ahead and label us diet pedophiles if that makes you feel better.
Yeah, we'll just call him a diet pokephile. I just don't understand like why we're sitting here and we're allowing our own members of our own community to be degrading other members of our own community. It's not good. It's not a good look at them. Like, let's go. Let's move on. Let's move forward from this. And I really, really hope that anybody who's out there who has, had these horrible harms occur to them in the past or who may still be even going through it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you. You're not going to, it's so unlikely that you would perpetuate what you're going through or what you went through. It is so insanely unlikely that will happen.
Absolutely. And Adam, I know you're listening to this, and I appreciate you listening all the way through. My buddy, my guy, my dude, first off, don't ever tweet through it. Second off, do better. Just, please, take a step back, examine your actions, and figure out how you can do better moving forward. Please, and thank you.
And maybe he has.
Hopefully.
Because, gosh, I think I've said some really awful things in my life. And I like to think that I learned from them. And you know what? That was back in April. This man might have gone through an entire upheaval. Who knows? I don't.
I don't, because I'm blocked. So even if he tweeted an apology, I'd never know.
I actually don't know if I'm blocked. I should probably go look. No, I am not. Wow.
No, well, you'll have to keep me updated.
No, I'm not going to spy on Adam. I don't care enough. I do care in terms of like the people who develop parasocial relationships to these popular online comics, and like they really, really just want their quote unquote heroes to do good. You know what I mean? Like I really care for those people. I really care for the people who have a vested interest in the art and the person behind the art. I really want that to work out for them. Mm-hmm. But on a personal level, I don't give a shit. Because I do not have a parasocial relationship with any famous or diet famous person.
I'd like to think I don't, but I've been surprised before.
Yeah, I think I might. I think I could get pretty salty if like Stephen King like blocked me on Twitter or something. Like I might not get salty about that, but I don't know. Like I don't think I've ever done anything that Stephen King would find unsavory.
Probably not. I mean, you'd have to really do something for Stephen King to find it unsavory.
Yeah, I think I'd have
really
to. Man, that would take some effort, and I'm not willing to do that. I think I would have to be a Republican, and that's never gonna happen.
So, did we talk about the thing? Adam Ellis, Simpsons porn, degeneracy?
I think we talked about the thing, Bliss. I think we really did it. I think we did a good job.
Second time's the charm.
Yes. And do you have a happy?
I do have a happy, actually. I got my haircut today.
Yay! Aww.
Yeah. It was looking a little worse for wear, and so now I have a cute little shag working.
Ah, nice. Oh my gosh, you have to send me a picture.
I will.
Good. And also, I remember you're happy from the first time we recorded that you have a washing machine.
I do! Oh my gosh. I hadn't had a washing machine for 7 months because ours broke and I had been fighting the warranty people and they finally relented and gave us a new washing machine. So I finally have a new washing machine. It's my grown-up happy.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy for you.
It's the little things.
It is. It really is. And my happy kind of like mirrors those little things. I went to a restaurant, um, the first U.S. location of this restaurant. In fact, I couldn't find it on TripAdvisor, and they don't even have their liquor license yet, so we couldn't get any drinks there. We had to go out for beers afterwards. But it's a Japanese and Thai restaurant that has a robot waiter. There are other waiters, but we did get to have the robot come to the table about 3 or 4 times. Her name was Bella, and she was so cute. Oh my gosh, her little face.
I love that. That's so adorable. I looked up the picture and I was just like dead.
Yeah. The food was okay. This place was way too mainstream for the food to be really, really good. So it was kind of mid, but I really appreciated the robot and the cuteness.
Yeah, who doesn't appreciate a cute robot?
There are people out there, I bet you.
Well, they're wrong.
Yeah. You know what? You know who doesn't appreciate a cute robot? Probably Hitler.
You know what? He probably wouldn't appreciate a cute robot.
Yeah, like I really don't think he would appreciate a cute robot. He needs to, stay in hell where he belongs. All cute robots go to heaven.
Oh, bless. Okay, well then that'll do it for us this week. If you'd like to find us online, you can find us on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Blissfully Show. Feel free to drop a comment or tweet at us, letting us know if there's anything you'd like to see covered. Otherwise, ooh, did you hear my voice crack?
Yeah, I did.
Anyway, otherwise, yeah, we will see y'all next time. Bye!
Bye! I am there for a robot's freedom of speech, baby.